This is going to be a long video because it's about scale and the variance of scale between action figures who proclaim a certain scale and other action figures in the same supposed scale. As you can see, it can vary quite a bit. This is a long video, I'm sorry, but I've been putting together for several weeks, so it's kind of strung together. But I hope you enjoy, and I hope it helps out. We begin with 1:1 scale, which for our purposes in these pieces, action figures, is 6 foot tall. In actuality, the average male height in North America is 5'10", and it has varied up and down over the centuries because of nutrition and climate. My favorite scale, and most people's favorite scale, is 1/12 because it equals out to 1 inch per 1 foot, which is very handy when you're measuring out things for these figures. Of course, 1/2 scale would be 3 foot. It all starts with 6 foot, and we work our way down. The reason I'm making this video is because not all scales are the same, even when they say they are a certain scale. So let's begin with a 3 3/4 scale, which is they say is 1/18. And there we have a Star Wars, Luke Skywalker X-Wing pilot, and then we have a G.I. Joe. Now, as you can see, there is a difference in their height. And I have a 1/18 motorcycle sitting right there. Next, we have a Marvel Universe, or Infinite Series. I don't know why they changed the name. And this is Captain America with his motorcycle that came with him in the pack. And as you see, there is a size difference between all three. Next we have a 112 Yamaha VMAX, which is my favorite motorcycle of all time. I used to have one. I've got the Toy Biz Marvel Legends Ghost Rider sitting on it, and it fits pretty close. These motorcycle manufacturers, their scale is relatively uniform compared to action figures. And of course, here's the reason that I'm really doing this video. I'm a big Terminator fan, and I have this NECA T800 Arnold Schwarzenegger figure. It's an amazing figure. And this motorcycle is the 1999 Maitsu Fat Boy. Is that amazing or what? Now, NECA is almost, well, it's really close to my favorite figure manufacturer. Maitsu is, I mean, this bike has real suspension. It's really spring-loaded in the front and in the back. It's amazing. The Arnold rode this exact bike, and it took me forever to find this scale. This scale is 1/10. NECA's action figures are not the same size as Marvel Legends. They're slightly larger, slightly taller. It puts them in the 1/10 category, and as you can see, this motorcycle is a 1/10 scale, and it fits that Arnold's Terminator figure nearly perfectly. This bike, they made very few changes to the bike over the years from 1991 or whatever the model he was that he rode in Terminator 2, except this one. The one in the movie has red pinstripe on the fender and the gas tank. That's easily remedied. Easily. It took me a long time to find this dang motorcycle in die-cast, and I wanted to look decent, so it needed to be die-cast or a model that you put together. Finding a 1/10 model, I mean, it's just hard. But let's go on to the next motorcycle. Next we have the Tyco 1/9 scale motorcycle. This die-cast motorcycle is pretty freaking awesome. It is a Harley Fat Boy. You might wonder why so many Harley Fat Boys when my favorite bike is the VMAX. It's because I was looking for this bike. I was looking for the right scale, and I couldn't find anything online. That's why another reason I'm making this video. NECA is 1/10, and so you need a 110 motorcycle to make that look right. And I'm also going to get some other vehicles if I can find them to, make the scene. Anyway, this is the Tyco 1/9 scale Harley Fat Boy. This, of course, is Egon from Ghostbusters. He's the Diamond Select Egon. He is 1/9 scale. This motorcycle is 1/9, and he nearly fits it perfectly. I haven't stretched his arms out. He doesn't have a very good crunch here to reach the handlebars, but as you can see, he fits that motorcycle dang near perfectly. He might be even a little bit too big. He may be on up to from 1/9 is 1/8, which brings us to Ace over here with a little bit better of a view. And let me zoom out a little bit. There we go. And as you can see, he fits this motorcycle pretty darn good. Ace is getting up to, he is one, I'm trying to get this stuff, keep this stuff straight in my head. Here's Diamond Select. They're 1/9. He is going to be 1/8. 1/8 scale. And as you can see with this Buddy L, again, how about that?
Ride to live to ride.
I won't use that button. This motorcycle isn't very detailed, very good. Something about this stupid thing, I like it. Anyway, it fits Ace really, really good. I mean, he may be slightly too small for it. This may be more like a 1/7 or 1/6. But a Barbie is 1/6, so a Barbie would be too big for this. So, but like I said, it's not. I mean, there may even be half scales involved with this crap. I mean, he's what I say, 1/8 approximately. This thing may be 1/8 and a half, or 1/7 and a half. Who knows? You just got to get it close if you want to do any of this crap. But he fits it pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. Getting aggravated. Hey guys, I've been working on some videos about scale, and I'm working on a Matrix diorama. Matrix is one of my favorite franchise, and I am kind of excited because Matrix 4 is coming out. And I'd already decided to make this diorama before I even knew about the Matrix movie, and I'm also going to finally finish Trinity's motorcycle soon. But this is about scale. Now, these McFarlane figures are what I'm going to use, and they are 1/12. 1/12 is a nice scale because it's easy. It's 1 inch equals 1 foot. Now, the box for this vehicle, I will show you. This is the Buddy L Cadillac Escalade EXT. This is nearly identical to the one in the movie, The Matrix Reloaded. Probably my favorite out of the three, but I love all three. The only difference is that the running boards were a silver, but the wheels, everything match. And as you can see, let me turn. Oh yeah, 1/12 scale. But it says optional sunroof for additional play with 3 3/4 inch to 5 inch action figures. Well, 1/12 is 6 inch scale. It's 1 inch to 1 foot. So I don't know what's going on here. Here's the box that it came in. And like I said, it says 1/12 scale down there. Now I did some research, and the Escalade EXT, as seen in the movie, is 222 inches long. And I've already worked out the math. That is 18.5 feet. So that means that this vehicle, if it's 1/12, should be 18.5 inches. And it is only 16 inches. So that doesn't really come out right. This, if it's really 1/12, it should be 18.5 inches, and so that would make this more like 1/14 or 1/15, which would be a 4 or 5 inch figure. And that's why I'm a little aggravated. This is what they call a RC rock crawler body, and I thought about using it. Unfortunately, it's a Chevy Avalanche. The XT and the Avalanche are pretty close, just pretty close to the same thing. It measures 18 inches, so it's really close. But I think it's actually called 1/10 scale. So, if you see, it looks pretty good. Almost too big. But since this is an RC, they don't worry about exact sizing and detail, as opposed to some other, higher-end die-cast. Here's a comparison. Let's take one of the twins out. Did you know that these guys were viruses in the movie? Okay, so look at that. The RC is slightly longer, but look how much wider it is. So these manufacturers, I thought the die-cast folks were going to be a little bit more, shall we say, accurate, but evidently they're not. But I've got something else to show you. This is the Mayotso, hope I pronounced that right, 59 Cadillac. This is true 1/12 scale, I do believe. And this EXT is just as long as that, supposedly, if it's 1/12. But you can see the difference there. The tailgates, the back bumpers are lined up right now. It may not look like it, but they are. Look at the difference there. So this was a little bit bogus, their advertising, because, well, it's not 1/12 scale at all. And since the twins here, the virus twins, since they're in a pose, they're hard to see how tall they are. Here is the Mattel Egon, and he is just a little over. He's a little over 6 inches. He's about 6.5 inches tall. And as you can see, he fits, he fits just really good with this Cadillac. As you can see, if I take his proton pack off, he'll actually fit in here quite nicely into this die-cast car. And you may be wondering, yes, I am considering making my own Ecto 1 because I've got the nice die cast, and I just have to make it into a station wagon. Of course, the station wagon's 4 doors, and I'd have to put I'm not cutting into this model, but this die cast, because it's just it's not. These things aren't cheap, even though I didn't pay that much for it, because I'm very patient. I wait for good deals. Just like this here, this was hard to find. I will wait months if I have to get a good deal, or for the right thing. And the purpose of this video is to show scale. And as you can see, with Egon standing next to the EXT, which he, being 6 inches, or maybe slightly over, should go well with this. And he's close, but it's not true 1 scale. This damn thing is not true 1 scale. But I tell you what, in a diorama, and since these twins are posed in a certain way, I am not going to freak out about it. But it is aggravating. It's very aggravating. Just for another scale, look at the Diamond Select Egon, and you look at the Mattel Egon. Look at the difference there. Now, he's 112. You know, I measured him. This Egon is 8 inches tall. The Diamond Select, 8 3/4. He's not even 112, even though they may say he's 112. He's not 112. He's 1/9, which I've got in another video that I'm working on showing you the difference. But he's 1/9. He's not even 110. He's 1/9. And then you've got the closed neck of figures like Ace here. He's 1/8. 1/8. So I'm probably going to do a Ghostbusters video, what I plan on doing, because I've got 2 dioramas I'm working on. One is Ghostbusters and one is The Matrix. And it's going to be fun. And I'm going to put up videos as I go. This is my therapy. This is my fun. I don't go out and partying. I take care of business, my family. This is my fun. So, why not do another comparison? This is the Mattel Real Ghostbusters Ecto-Mobile. Now, I don't have an attachment to the Real Ghostbusters, but I want an Ecto-Mobile. I want one. So this is the only one that's available right now that's even close to the scale that I want. And it's meant for the Real Ghostbusters Kenner action figures, which are 5-inch. And 5-inch is, let's see, 3 3/4 is 1/18, so 5 inches is what? 1/14, 1/15? And they vary also. And if you look at these 2 dang Cadillacs, the Matrix and the Ghostbusters love Cadillacs. And if you look at these 2, look at them. I mean, they're pretty close to scale. Now, I got rid of my Real Ghostbusters figures. I don't have an attachment to them. But I have a bunch of Star Trek figures, which are the same. And this is Noonien Singh, the Star Trek figure, a character that created Data. And he fits into this just fine, just like the Real Ghostbusters did. You take the Mattel Ghostbusters, and he's kind of close, but he's too big. He's too big. He's too big for this. But I'm going to make this do. Scale is weird because not everybody's the same height, you know, so there's going to be variances anyway. You can't make it a perfect diorama anyway. But this is the figure size that this was really sized for, and this 5-inch. Show you something else. And here we have the Diamond Select Back to the Future DeLorean. It is 115. They say so on their website. This is a pretty dang cool piece. Anyway, this figure is about 115. So the reason I've got this figure out in the first place is because, does he resemble somebody from the future named Doc Brown? I can take this figure, since they don't make any dang Back to the Future figures that are affordable and the right scale, I'm going to change Dr. Singh into Doc Brown when I get time. But I mean, look, he's already dressed kind of sort of like the future. He's got the trench that Doc had. I just have to do a little work and paint work on the face, and he'll look like Doc, or close enough for me. But he's the right size. That's what I'm trying to say. He is the right size for this 115. Which reminds me, I talked to Diamond Select on Twitter the other day. They are going to make a 115 Ectomobile, which is this size. So, if you want some Ghostbusters that have the right size Ecto 1, you're still out of luck, because this is 112. So the Ectomobile that Diamond Select made, or the figures that Diamond Select made that are awesome, are not going to fit into the Ectomobile that they are making. I don't understand it. This figure is 1/9. Awesome figures. They have some awesome dioramas, but they're making an Ectomobile that's too small. I can't figure it out. I don't know. Anyway, the 115 that they're making will be this size, the Ectomobile, and it's going to fit this figure, which there's no Ghostbusters. Unless you want to put the real Ghostbusters figures with the Ectomobile that they're making, which is going to be for the movie Ghostbusters. But anyway, this video is for scale, and it's to show you a comparison of all these different stinking vehicles that I just like to, have, and I'm going to make a couple of dioramas. And here's one more other nugget that you may or may not know, that I was talking about Ghostbusters. What I've decided to do about these is, since these are not 112, they're closer to 1/9 or 1/10 even. Eagle Moss is going to be making a Ectomobile that is 1/8 scale. 1/8. 1/8 is about the size of Ace Ventura here. And I'll probably do my other video, or even add it onto this, so you'll see how big Ace is. And it would be almost perfect for these. Since these are 1/9, and that's going to be 8 scale, the figures might be a little bit small, but just barely. And you'll have an Ectomobile that is bigger than this. Bigger than this. It's going to be 1/8 scale. And the only bigger Ectomobile that they make on the market is called Blitzway, and the Eagle Moss, you put it together. It's made by the same Starship makers that are my beloved Star Trek starships, and it's going to have electronics, but it's going to take months to build, and after you build it, it's going to end up have cost you quite a bit, but it's going to be the right scale. So I think I'm going to do that, and I'll probably put that on here. They launch in January, so I'll put a link in this video to show you, and that'll be cool. It'll take, I think it's going to take a couple of years to build this stupid thing. And I'm still not done. Good grief. This is the Briar truck that goes with the horses. for like the Barbie doll size dolls. Look how big this sucker is compared to this Cadillac. And this Cadillac's huge. I'll get the tape measure out. And this is 22 inches long. The Cadillac, the 1/12 scale Cadillac, is 19 inches long. So this is jumped up another scale. Instead of 1/12, it's probably 1/9 or 1/10. And I just happen to have Walter Peck. Let's stick Walter Peck in here. Now, he looks a little bit small, so he is a 1/9 like the rest of the Diamond Select Ghostbusters, but it's pretty close. I'd say this truck, even though they say it's Barbie size, they're wrong. This truck is, since these are 1/9, this truck is probably more like 1/8, which is the size of the Ecto-1 Cadillac that Eagle Moss is launching soon. This is not a commercial for Eagle Moss, by the way, but in case you didn't know about it, this is going to be that size Ecto-1. So, Walter Peck looks pretty good in there, doesn't he? He's a little bit small. But this truck is not really meant for accuracy either. It's meant to pull horse truck. It's meant for Barbies. It's not super accurate. The reason I have that is that when I get time, this is going to get turned into the jet truck from Buckaroo Banzai, because nobody wants to make a Buckaroo Banzai truck in the right scale. Well, there's no Buckaroo Banzai figures either, even though I keep asking Diamond Select to make Buckaroo Banzai figures on Twitter, and I keep asking NECA to make Buckaroo Banzai figures. Buckaroo Banzai was important enough to be in Ready Player One. I love Buckaroo Banzai. Big Trouble in Little China was supposed to be Buckaroo Banzai too, but I'm getting off subject. I apologize. But the Ecto one coming out in January that you have to build is going to be about this size, or not, or it's going to be longer actually, but it's going to be the scale. It's going to be huge. Here's the rock crawler next to it. As you can see, this is more detailed than the rock crawler. I looked for it. Buckaroo Banzai's truck was a 81, I think, Ford F-350. And good luck finding one of those in the right scale. The model kits are too small. So this is the closest I can. You can get a 3D printer and 3D print one. The scale's going to be, you could scale it up, I guess. But I wanted something a little bit more durable. And I'm just going to have to do some cutting, and I'm going to cut the cockpit off. I already know what I'm going to put in there in its place for the cockpit, because it was a World War II cockpit. I've done my research on the stupid thing. So it ought to be cool. I'm going to need figures, or I'll have to make my own when I get time. But here's the rock crawler body next to it. The thing about these, they can get up to the right scale. They're just not very detailed. I hope you like long videos. Anyway, here's Arnold. For this thing was super hard to find. Your fat boy, the right scale. It's 1/10 scale. These NECA figures are 1/10, except for the ones like Ace with the retro clothing or whatever you call it. Those are 1/8. So I had Arnold on here before, and he fits pretty good. You gotta move him around, and this is 1/15 or 1/14. As you can see, different figures. How about it? How about it? Different figures for everybody. We got different figures for everybody. And this is my ultimate T1000. I got to put his hand back in. Finding a police motorcycle for him. That is not easy either. They make a 1/12 size. The exact motorcycle he rode in Terminator 2. But he's 110. So he's going to look too big on it. And I'm not going to spend any more money on this stuff that I don't have to. I'm making these videos to save you, if you're interested in this, time and money. So I need a 110 Kawasaki 1000 police motorcycle with the certain fairing on it for it to be accurate. And they make Harleys, but they don't make the Kawasaki in the 110 scale. So I may have to, I don't know. I'm still working on it, and I'm still doing search. I'm patient. I'm very patient. But I want a motorcycle for him to go with that motorcycle, with a T800. So we'll have all these dioramas straight, and then I'll get into another mess in the next year or two. But I'm going to update you as I go on all this stuff, and if I find out anything new, or if you find out anything new, I would appreciate it. So this has been my video on scale for dioramas, and all these different action figure sizes, and I know there's got to be even more. Here's one I'm looking on the shelf right now. Akira. Whoop. He's a Terminator, he can handle it. You got Akira here. These McFarlane figures, most of them were 1/12. Dude, this is an awesome figure. This is Tatsu. This is not Akira, but he's from the cartoon Akira. And let me straighten him out. See, he's a little bit shorter than Walter Peck there, and Egon, but he's young. He's a young guy, so maybe he is in the right scale. But the test is, if you put Walter Peck onto Akira's motorcycle, he's too big. So most McFarlane figures are 1/12 to 110. He's like in between. And don't get me started on the Walking Dead figures. There's two different sizes there too. So anyway, this is one of those videos that's kind of a mess. I'm sorry, but it's fun, and I had the time to make it, and maybe somebody can benefit from this. All right, I'm shutting her down now. Thanks for watching.